Welcome guys, we'll go through the results and recap the action. Day 2 at the Tel Aviv Grand Slam. Starting off with something I think is a little sad. It's just highlighting the poorness from the referees and just the rules and the system. I just think this is quite bad. So this is Pinot for France, and she took gold at under 70. Now she gets a choke on here, and we can't really see it because of the camera angle, but I think Blue is tapping and the ref doesn't notice, but Pinot does. And then she goes out, and Pinot, I mean, she can't stop until the Ippons called. Tries to help. The ref says no, which is quite ridiculous because here comes the medical staff, and guess what the medical staff do? They just do exactly what Pinot was doing, picking up the leg. So Pinot, I mean, she was doing a better job than the ref. She was quicker there than the medical staff. And you know, it's just not a good look. Speaking of not a good look, here's another one. Demortsidis from Greece, unfortunately. You can see the ref picking it up here. A phone. He had a phone in his gi, and he's just shocked, embarrassed by the situation. Esposito, I mean, he does a good job going over there. Don't worry about it, bro. You'll be fine. But the rules, they do state that you're not allowed any metallic objects on the mat, and that includes knee braces. So you can't have any knee braces with metallic objects in them. And of course phones. Phones as well. Definitely not allowed on the mats. Lombardo here made a bit of a mistake. Goes out to Van de Kay. Van de Kay made it all the way to the finals, picking up a silver medal. So Lombardo and Basili switching places and both struggling a little bit. This here, I'm not sure why it's not a Wazadi for the Mongolian. Kargnine drops down, and then, I mean, that looks like a good counter to me. Dashdavar from Mongolia, world silver medalist, he posted about this on Instagram, and I asked him, Wazadi blue? And he said yes. So I'm with him on that one. Definitely looks like a good score. Bad call by the ref. And before we get into the results, this counter to a kataguruma, really nice. The way he changed the direction there, I definitely haven't seen this counter before, so it's probably a good idea to highlight it. I hope people do it more. I've definitely seen a lot of katagurumas these days, and this seems like a good way to counter it. So we'll get into the results. We'll start with the men's under 73. Stump from Switzerland, he took gold. I have another video going over all of his matches. He had lots of throws, really good stuff from him. I've always spoken quite highly of Stump. He's usually in my prediction videos for the under 73 category, but he just hasn't pulled out the results recently. But I think this win here probably give him a lot of confidence going forward. Muki, he took gold at under 81s. Haven't seen Muki on the top of the podium in a while. And this Seoinage he does, watch what he does with his right elbow. He hooks it around his opponent's knee. And that's totally legal. People do it all the time with kataguruma, but it's a good way to do Seoinage as well. We talked about Pinot, who got gold at under 70. And then at under 63, we had Bochamin from Canada. Gets a nice little transition here. Looking for a bow and arrow choke or a sankaku, but turns it into a juji eventually. There she is now locking up the arm. And she wants to free that knee underneath her opponent's back for a bit of leverage. She'll get there eventually. There it is, a little bit freer. There we go. Now it's locked up against the side, and she's thrown the ankle across. So a bit more leverage now. Arm goes extended, gets the tap. So it's a good win for her. Under 73 for the bronze, we had Hristov from Bulgaria. Nice counter here. Goes into the Osai Komi. And also Kargnine. So Kargnine got lucky earlier on and eventually finished on the podium. And don't get me wrong, he definitely has the skills to get there, but I think he did lose that match against the Mongolian. Nice also Togari here for Gautier from Canada, taking bronze as well at under 81. And we also had Cavaliers, and he throws Esposito here, and Esposito starts complaining about it. He really kind of gets in the referee's faces. And I think it's a decent score. I have no idea what Esposito is trying to say. Here it didn't make much sense, but later on, he starts talking about the elbows. But to me, doesn't look like his elbows touch the mat at all. I mean, it's clearly his back hits the mat. And this guy here, Cavaliers, he was up against Grigolashvili in the final recently, right? Grand Slam of Paris, so he's doing quite well. And here's Esposito here. It's just complaining about it. If you guys know what he's talking about, let me know. I thought it was elbows. I thought he was talking about elbows. But I can't think of anything else. Coughlin from Australia, she takes bronze at under 70s. And her and Hacker from the weight class down, I believe. Those two, they're doing quite well for Australian women's judo. So if anyone knows if they train together or where they train, let me know. Be interesting to know about Australian judo a little bit more. The other bronze went to Williams. Nice Osortogari here. Williams with an E from Belgium. And then at under 63 for the bronzes, we had Renshao from Great Britain and Fazliu from Kosovo. Kosovo is a really weird one as well. It's kind of a small country, but they seem to just bring out really, really strong women all the time. What's with that? I don't get it. Anyway guys, we'll get into some Ippons from the day, mostly 73 and 81. This one here, I thought there was a stop in the action before the Sumigaishi, but they give it to him anyway. Nice Uchimata here by Levin. He had two of these, kind of sticks his foot in there, and then goes for it, hand on the belt as well, and utilizing his length. That's hard to defend. Interesting, Seoi Nage. Not much lift, just kind of jumping in there. But hip placement, I mean, that's a really good hip placement, just jumping across like that. I saw this a lot on day 1 and also on day 2. But people dropping down for a Seoi Nage and then just people countering with the Sumigaishi. It almost makes it look like people should stop doing Seoi Nages. Maybe they should do standing versions. Because that's a really good counter. And they're letting it happen a lot now. Nice Uchimata here, again by Levin. This is kind of a weird Uchimata, I mean. He's just methodically, slowly working his way through it. He's got everything, you know, that he needs. Belt grip, legs in position, and now he just needs to make the leverage happen. And he does. It's an interesting way to do Uchimata. Sendocha, this was a Wazari, but a nice transition into the Newaza here. Into the Kesagatame. It's a bit unfortunate for Sendocha after claiming that red back patch. I don't think he's taken gold. So some people, I don't know, they lose a bit of motivation when they hit these milestones, and some people just manage to keep on going, but I don't know, I hope he does manage to get to the top of the podium again, because he is a really high level judoka. Anyway guys, that's it for my highlights on day 2. Stay tuned for more, like, subscribe. And if you really want to be generous, hit that join button. It helps me out. I'll see you guys later. Peace.